Good morning, church family. I'm glad to be with you today. And today we're working out of Hosea 13. And this is during time of Hosea in the 8th century from 800 BC to 700 BC. And in 722 BC is when the Assyrians came in and captured the northern kingdom, Israel. Here it talks about Ephraim, and it speaks, this is about Jeroboam. Jeroboam is of the tribe of Ephraim, and he began pagan worship, and it says now they sin more and more in verse 2. And then it says in verse 3, therefore they shall be like the morning clouds and like the early dew that passes away. So they're going to pass away rather quickly, and it indicates that Israel had changed. God had not. And he tells them about the past. Yet I am Lord your God. This is in verse 4. Ever since the land of Egypt, and you know no God but me, there is no Savior besides me. And he tells them, I knew you in the wilderness, and that you were filled, and your heart was exalted. Therefore, you forgot me. And this is the way we are many times when things are going well. We don't see a need for God. But when times are bad, we turn to him. And then he speaks of some animals that are native to Israel, a lion, a leopard, a bear. Talks about the beast. One interesting thing, if you looked in Daniel 7, you would find these same beasts mentioned, which represents kingdoms that will rule over Israel. Then in verse 9 it says, O Israel, you are destroyed, but your help is from me. We can see God's amazing grace, and we can see his long-suffering in these verses. I will be your king. Where is any other? I gave you a king in my anger and took him away in my wrath. And who would that be? Saul. And then he gives them a promise. Verse 14, I will ransom them from the power of the grave. I will redeem them from death through Jesus Christ. And though he is fruitful among his brethren, his spring shall dry up. And then we see at the end in verse 16 how cruel the Syrians are to him and what they are facing. So these verses talks about the present, the past, and the future warnings that he has given to the northern kingdom. And yet they still rebelled. And then they were scattered throughout. May God bless you today, and may you enjoy reading and studying his word.